All right, welcome everyone to the Super Metroid Multi-World Tournament. Today we have the Lost Vikings with Kip and Rumblemans versus the MagicPantsRoom, Rusty and Mr. Fox. My name is Tracy, and with me today is Derp. How you doing, Derp?
I'm doing pretty good. Been watching some other Super Metroid stuff, the GT Classic tournament going on right now. So now we got something a little bit different, and I'm excited to continue watching a lot of good runners do what they do best.
Yep, and we do have, I believe this is the 8 versus the 9 seed. There was I believe Kip took an unfortunate death in the qualifying seed, so they're probably a little underseeded. So maybe a bit of a favorite here, but we'll see. It is multi-world. It is sharing items between people. It is, I believe they end up rolling a full. They do a virtual coin flip to decide which one it is going to be. And if it is indeed full, that definitely is good for the not favored team because there's just more things that can happen, more weirdness that can show up.
Yeah, I don't want to linger on the qualification race too much during this tournament, but it was definitely a very player two gets the short end of the stick kind of seed with a very awkward logic chain. And unfortunately, Rumble didn't play it as aggressively as some teams did, so it cost them a little bit. But it's always scary on a team with Kip because Kip has the best execution in the tournament and also might
Yes.
be one of the smartest runners in the tournament. That is a very deadly combination.
Yes, absolutely. If he and Azure were ever to team up, then we'd have some serious, a very serious team there. But they have their own teams. We do have a grapple beam and a spring ball to start things off, which is always interesting. On the bottom player, on the player 2 side, we looks like we have all the ammo we could, the supers and the power bombs. On player 1, no supers yet, so
Kip actually skipped. Kip and Rumble both skipped the Billy Mays check, actually. That's not normally what you see in full rando. I know Kip is a lot more experienced in other randomizers like Major Minor, so
yep.
might not be thinking about it, but that could be something important. Although actually we only have Rusty checking it and just got power bombs for each
Yeah,
of the teammates on the right.
it's kind of a tough call because if you don't get power bombs up here, now you're gonna have to leave another check behind later on. Rusty having gotten a couple power bomb packs, they're gonna be able to do a lot of things with those. They can check Gauntlet. Kip and Rumble will not be able to check Gauntlet.
Well, they can check Gauntlet either way, but they wouldn't be able to make it all the way through, which
Yeah.
is more relevant in full rando since
Yeah,
those
yep.
items can be good.
I mean, they could check the back and not get the stuff in the back, and they could check the front and reset, unless it's, some sort of bombs or screw attack.
Yeah, and of course, the nice thing about Multiworld is if that item is for the other player, you can reset, the
Yep.
other player will keep the item, and you get to walk away.
I'm beginning to wonder if this is actually. We haven't seen any majors here, except in the major spot. So maybe this is actually major minor. So we'll see. Let's see what's here. What's that bomb chorizo for Kip? An E-tag.
Could be major minor.
Yeah, I think maybe it does turn out to be major minor. We're still kind of feeling out how the process of Synac, our resident bot creator. We do use the Sarasala bot, the same bot that rolls things for Link to the Past, for this tournament. And my understanding is that he came up with a way to randomize whether it's going to be major, minor, or full. It sure looks like this one ended up being major, minor. The talk in the race room was that it was full, but I think that talk was incorrect.
And Kip didn't check the back of Gauntlet, right?
No.
Yeah, I'm surely Kip knows that at least. Although Rumble's actually checking it, so maybe we see something. Maybe it's just been a funny coincidence so far.
No, he just wants the power bombs.
That makes sense. He had enough, it looked like. I wonder why he actually went to refill. Well, regardless, they are off to Green Brinstar.
And a screw attack for Kip there. We'll see whose that is. It's a very nice early item to pick up.
Yeah, definitely not an item you're ever going to complain about getting.
No, absolutely not. It
Except
does,
it's for
yeah, it's
Rumble.
Rumbles. Yeah, it does allow Rumble, if you wanted to, you could go back and actually do Gauntlet. I don't think you're going to do that from here. Plasma on, Plasma for So
Also
yeah,
for
the player two gets both the nice lower Norfair items. You know, it's always nice to have at least one of those things when you go into LN. And player one is going to have to do without a little bit longer.
Yeah,
So far, not a whole lot of progression items. That spring ball isn't really progression yet. I mean, it will allow for certain things later on if other things are found. You know, you can skip high jump boots in places, and you know, worst room in the game, and of course it was Meridia.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. I don't think we saw anyone even check Gauntlet.
No, I don't think we did.
We will not know what's at there yet. We'll see if any of the runners decide to go up early to the ship, since they would have a nice path to check Gauntlet there.
I think Kip in general likes to go up. We'll see about Rumble. Kip, a veteran of both any percent new route and low, and more in particular low percent ice, will have no trouble getting over the mode if he wants to do that, especially now that he's got bombs. Rumble would have to do a CWJ, so a little bit more difficult for him.
Even with the spring ball, you have a pretty good way to get across the moat if you're comfortable with that. It is a randomizer only trick, of course, but it's not too difficult.
Yeah, I swear learning the spring ball jump to mode has ruined my ability to do a CWJ, though.
I can't disagree. I'm also not great at CWJ, but there's a lot of items that get you across the moat, so it doesn't come up too often.
That's right.
You actually need to CWJ.
Yeah, typically if you see a CWJ, it's because someone's decided they just want to go up early instead of down. Still not a whole lot of progression. A lot of good luxury items.
Spring ball, screw attack,
yeah.
X-ray. I don't know if I'd call X-ray a luxury item.
If you have charge and plasma, I'd call it a luxury item. If you don't, then I just call it an annoyance.
If I'm not mistaken, I was talking about Kip's movement. I believe Mr. Fox recently got a 44 in any percent new route, so
yeah, that sounds right.
Pretty good. You're seeing him have a slight movement advantage over the Rumble here. Well, it's the opposite on the top.
Yeah.
Kip's a little ahead of Rusty. Shouldn't matter too much, but just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, I don't know that Rumble's put a lot of time recently into SM, and he hasn't played in a randomizer tournament or a league since League Season 1. And still a very good player, and I believe, if I remember correctly, he did make playoffs in that Season 1, so very, absolutely a quality player. Just, you know, trying to get the rust off, I suppose.
Yeah, Rumble does have at least a sub 50. I don't remember what Rusty's 100% time is. I think it's a 51, but I might be underselling him a lot. So I don't actually remember. Regardless, shouldn't make too much of a difference. See Kip checking the X-ray with that grapple beam he was able to get early. Yeah,
I like the X-ray check when you have the items to do it like this.
Yeah, I guess we were talking about CWJ and all of that. He had grapple. I think it's a way to get across moat. So.
Did he have it at the time? Well, either way, he's got options. Oh, there's the other screw attack.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, grapple was in the ceiling. So you're right.
It was in the ceiling for player 2, I believe. It was player 1's grapple.
Yeah, and we still have nothing for that on player 2 side, so we'll see. Looks like, I mean, Fox has already gone down. We'll see what Rumble decides to do.
I imagine he goes down.
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense. I mean, he's got, especially with high jump boots, he'd have to turn those off even just to do the CWJ, and that's an extra time sink. Not a huge one, but you never know when little things like that can make a difference. I kind of expect to see Kip go up, though. And he is going up.
He is. Rumble, meanwhile, going to get Kip's high jump boots here at this Spazer location. Saw from Mr. Fox earlier.
Yeah, I think Kip will be happy about that. High jump boots, one of probably Kip's still his favorite item, which is always ironic when his favorite category doesn't get them in low percent.
Well, spending time away from a good item makes you appreciate it more, or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's.
Turned
I
it
think
off
that's.
actually.
If he's gonna go for a CWJ, but like with grapple beam, there's really no reason to.
Yeah, kind of a weird play, but Kip's kind of a weird guy, so it happens.
Like everybody has high jump boots now. I didn't see where the other pair was, but that's
It was
that's good. Have that movement.
Yeah, player 2's high jump was at player 1's charge beam, I believe.
Ah, okay. So a lot of high jumps. We're not gonna see any high jumpless lava dives or anything like that.
I guess Kip also has high jump turned off for the West Ocean, which is possible to jump across with high jump, but it's a little bit trickier. Kip's actually just going to use grapple after all.
Yeah, still has that grapple though.
That was a gravity at player 1's X-ray, I thought. Wait, somebody got gravity. No, it was gravity for player 1 at player 2's Varia. Okay.
Oh, that's... No one's missing that.
Yeah, we'll get that eventually.
I mean, literally, I had this discussion with Azure the other day. It's literally impossible to skip that item, even if you mean to. I mean, not literally, of course, but
Not entirely wrong.
It's a hard one to skip because we figured out that RBO is about the only category in terms of vanilla that you would actually not get that item.
Yeah, definitely not something that you're usually going to forget. We get to see the gravity suit color for Kip, well known for his palette changes.
Yeah, and gravity suit right before a Phantoon fight is really nice. Just suddenly, essentially quadrupling your energy. So, Kip, would have no problem doing this with what he had without the suit, but this just pretty much make it free for him. And a speed booster over at Spazer on player 1's side, so that could be interesting if there's something at the Wreck Ship Reserve item, because Kip's not going to be able to get that.
Probably not. Could be a speed booster somewhere in Wreck Ship. Rumble giving him it.
Rusty found his own speed booster at Spazer, so that's not happening.
Yeah, that is not happening then. We have seen suits there. Once again, referencing the qualifier race.
Yes. Yeah, I believe, was it Varia suit that was there?
Yeah.
It was one of them, I know that.
It was both Varia suits, actually. Player 1's and player 2's Varia
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Reserves.
Yeah, I see your teammate calling gravity suit for cowards, because you guys had the first confirmed Shack Tool seed. I say that because we did you do Multiworld in the last season of the league for week 1, and there were a few seeds where we suspected gravity suit was sitting there at Shack Tool, but we never confirmed it, and you guys confirmed it because Maniacal, we saw it on the credits, and Maniacal went and checked, and sure enough, there it was.
Yeah.
Ironically, your seed was a full seed and had it there. So.
Sure was. Definitely not the biggest fan of full rando, but it is an option, so it's something you gotta do. Rusty actually standing up during the Kraid stand-up, or during Kraid's initial rising out of the floor. You don't want to do that because it causes extra lag.
Yep.
Just for future reference. A little optimization that can save you a lot of time, depending on if Kraid gives you bad lag or good lag. But not the biggest deal.
Yeah. More difficulties. He did end up with a stood-up Kraid, so it's going to cost time.
And with the gravity suit, nothing here actually does any meaningful damage.
I know, right?
He'll be fine.
No, he's definitely, dying to Kraid. I have seen players, not so much recently, but I have seen players used to getting a quick kill. When they don't get a quick kill, can get really screwed up by that fight. But with this many E-tanks, it just wasn't going to happen. And there's the other plasma beam. So on LostVikings side, we have screw attack and plasma for both players. Not very possible that if Rusty ends up doing Wreck Ship last, if there's nothing else in here, very well could miss that plasma beam. Only really matters if charge doesn't, or yeah, if charge shows up, because plasma without charge is a nice beam to have. Don't get me wrong, but not going to help you with those fights.
Meanwhile, both runners on the side of MagicPantsRoom are going down. There's the other speed booster, by the way. Yeah, it's grade tank. But yeah, both runners going down. No various suits, excuse me, have been found. This is, of course, the total suit changes, so gravity will not protect against heat.
Yeah, and the logic is essentially based on the SMZ3 logic, because this comes off of totals work from the SMZ3, which is why we have a shack tool in logic for gravity suit.
Just 35 energy. I don't actually know how much health he has in reserve.
Yeah. Ooh.
With the way he's playing it, I assume not a lot. That's just an E-tank at Wreckship Reserve for Kip, so fortunately he won't get...
Yeah, no worries about missing that.
Mr. Fox gets his charge beam, so he has charge plasma X-ray actually.
Yeah, there you go. So X-ray actually could be useful here. Right now, I think Kip is looking for the, checking the convenient miners anyway. A power bomb pack for Rumblemans would be really nice. Fox already has 15 power bombs, could do a crystal flash. Rumble not so lucky, only with 10 power bombs. So he has to, for these hell runs, he doesn't have the option of crystal flashing when he runs low. So he's gonna have to do a farm here. That's a lot slower a lot of times.
Yeah, Kip as a player is always someone who picks up a lot more miners than you see from some other runners. Fortunately, Rumble actually, he saved, so don't worry, but he did.
Yeah, he's fine.
Take a death in the pre-speed room.
Yeah,
that's got caught in the 1-block gaps and couldn't.
I know. Back out. I mean, that can happen, and normally that's not a big deal, but with the energy ticking off from the heat room, yeah, it's a problem. And there's the other grapple beam.
Shadows to Retro Arc for Rusty.
And a wave beam for Kip. So, yeah. So some nice luxury items. Wave and plasma, though, not really the best haul from Wreckship, but, on the other hand, Kip's done with it, so doesn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I think from talking to Maniacal, he's of the opinion that getting Wreckship out of the way is usually going to be better. Mm-hmm. Specifically in these multi-world, just because it gives you a cleaner path through the game. You don't have to go back if anything good is there.
Yep. Looks like Kip is going to do a gauntlet check with that screw attack.
Makes sense.
Not going to save ahead of time.
Yeah, he could save scum it, but he's not in any danger of dying with this loadout, so there's not a huge need to.
And with gravity and screw attack, you can go pretty fast through this room. Not as fast as if you could do gravity and screw attack and space jump. You can really go through this room fast.
Yeah, it does take full damage from the acid with no various suit, but is able to keep his free movement, so it's not as dangerous. Just an E-tank.
E-tank, but it's Rumble, so that's good. So Rumble gets a free refill.
Yeah, so if he took the save, he could reset, and of course Rumble would keep the E-tank.
And Rumble gets a power bomb pack, which is going to be really nice for him. So now he's going to be able to crystal flash if he needs to. Rusty in Meridia, which makes sense because, gravity suit, not great numbers. I mean, the hell runs are in logic. These would be a 5-tank hell run logic in terms of going to Bubble Mountain. But with gravity suit, you might as well just do Meridia because you can. You can. You got movement with high jump and
I think
speed
Mr.
booster.
Fox died somewhere. He's picking up this charge beam again. I didn't see
and if it's his, you have to redo it.
He has to.
Yep.
Rusty's actually just checking Mama Turtle and going up.
Yeah, it's going to Wreckship.
Clever. I wonder if it's better to just go through with this loadout. I wonder if it's better to just finish Meridia on the way. I'm not sure. There are a few item checks. A lot of the checks in Meridia are very slow, though, especially in Major Minor, rather. All of the major items are quite a time sink, so...
And the last two in particular. I kind of like to think of a Meridia, there's 6 items. major items, and there's a bit of a nice loop you can do for 4 of them. Mama Turtle, Bot Woony Tank, Dragon, and then leave through the sand pit. But then there's also the lovely Shacktool Plasma combination that nobody ever wants to do if they can help it.
Mr. Fox setting up for a Crystal Flash. The reason I didn't notice is I don't think he died. I think he reset because he was in a situation where he couldn't survive.
Yeah, that could
I
be.
didn't notice the death animation.
Looks like Mr. Fox is leaving as well. Not gonna do Croc here.
I think he's just refilling power bombs. No, never mind. He's
maybe. He could I mean, I assume he's comfortable with gate glitching, but he could choose to do Croc from the Ice Beam side, or he might just be heading up the wreck ship.
I'm not sure why he Crystal Flashed and then left.
I didn't see what his health. Yeah, I didn't see what his health was. It doesn't. You don't need a lot to survive the one room to go back to Business Center.
He had like a full tank. He actually explicitly waited in a heated room to get down to Crystal Flash and then just left anyways.
Yeah, that does seem kind of, because there's the refills right here if you need it.
Yeah, exactly. You have the Sloater's refill here.
And yeah, with a full tank, you don't lose very much health in the one heated room on the way back, so it really wasn't a need to. Vanilla reserve tank over on over there for Rumble.
Yeah, I believe we did see that for Mr. Fox, but he obviously did not decide to go back for it when he had the reset.
Yeah, you don't go back for the reserve tanks.
But yeah, I assume Mr. Fox kind of changed his mind halfway through after doing the Crystal Flash. It's like, maybe I just want to go back to up to the ship.
Yeah, we'll see. Rumble's gonna have a similar decision to make soon because he'll be either going to Croc or will be going to the wreck ship.
I expect Rumble to go to Croc.
I kind of like the Croc play here. You're right there. The gate glitch, this isn't the, I tend to think of the gate glitches as more difficult when you have this sort of a timer going off that you'll see Rumble having. But you also get to refill, you get these refill bugs that are right here that so you should never die trying to do this gate glitch.
Oh, Rumble getting the E-tank so it doesn't need to keep farming. That's always nice. So we'll see if you can get it. I find this gate glitch is still easier with super missiles than with normal missiles.
Yeah, I think it's the same, but
I think there is a difference in projectile speed. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, there's definitely that, but I don't, in terms of timing, I don't know that there's a difference. Maybe there is. One thing about supers instead of regular missiles is every gate glitch can be done with a super. Whereas, of course, if it's a green gate, you have to do it with a super. So, if you can do it with supers, then you're pretty much good to go no matter what. And this will be a very quick Croc because we have charged plasma.
Indeed. Just
Rusty's finished up
out of there right away.
So the one thing I don't like about this choice, I like Fox going up. It may or may not be the right thing. We'll see. We'll probably know what's going on Croc's side a little bit faster. The thing I don't like about Rusty going up to the wreck ship here.
Oh, look at this.
Ooh, that's useful. In Rusty's case, he's got to know that Kip has a tendency to go up more often. And if with that information, it kind of feels like you should either just go up to match it or try to, take advantage of the fact that maybe Kip full clears wreck ship and maybe you won't have to. So I would have liked to have seen him do more of Meridia. Maybe not all of it, but we talked about the Shacktool Plasma.
Fox also pointing out that Fox actually didn't check X-ray on his way up. He has the grapple beam, just didn't go into the room. So that could be important.
So once again, though, as you were talking about, we have one player with all the suits. Although not quite yet for Magic Pants side.
Yeah,
I do
Fox
expect
he didn't go to Croc. Not sure.
So I do expect we'll see after this Rumble will go up. He's not gonna have a whole lot of choice. He could check Waterway. He could go back to Brinstar and do the Waterway check, which is one of the more trolly locations in Major Minor, because it's probably the most trolly location if you get a late speed booster.
Yeah, a lot of checks stranded for both teams. Though, in Kip's case, the one thing he wasn't able to check, he actually didn't matter. He was able to at least see the item.
Yeah. So the only real abandon check for Kip is the Waterway check, but I mean, he didn't have speed booster and he was going through. So abandon is probably the wrong term. It's just out of the way at this point. Kip is in go mode by himself.
Well,
Variasuit, nice.
Wait, did Rusty not check that?
I don't think he ever went to Norfair. He did the Mom Turtle check.
I thought maybe Norfair.
I don't think he did Bubble Mountain though.
Maybe he only did High Jump and Ice.
Yeah, I think that's the case. I think he just did High Jump Ice.
Oh no.
So this is really good for Rumble. He's still in Norfair, so now I think he was probably going to go to the wreck ship, but now with High Jump and Variasuit, there's no reason for him to just not go beeline it over towards Ridley.
Yeah, it's not the most comfortable lower Norfair, but it's definitely very doable.
I mean, Plasma Charge, Various, Screw Attack, High Jump. The only thing he's really missing is that Gravity Suit. So, I mean, in Space Jump's kind of nice for Worst Room, but with High Jump, it's not that big a deal to not have it.
Yeah, I guess he's got pretty good energy as well. He shouldn't have any troubles with it, especially not someone like Rumble, who's an experienced randomizer player.
Yep. I would expect a save at the top of, once he gets through Lava Dive here, because if he's going to check GT, you want to be able to reset that if it's nothing.
Yeah, speaking of resetting nothing.
Because otherwise he's gonna he's got the RBO combination, so he'd be able to get out without killing GT, which is nice. The RBO combination being speed, screw, and high jump, which will allow you to jump from the energy refill room and get out that way.
Yeah, Mr. Fox was able to save out of that wreck ship E-tank check, which was unfortunately just a Spazer. And since everyone has Plasma Beam, Spazer is not exactly a high priority item.
Yeah, not wanted.
Not wanted. So the main question now is really just where is Player 2's Gravity Suit?
Yep. And right now we're not in a situation where Rumble can just go without. He would need some combination. He's got the Grapple Beam for it, but he would need Ice Beam. Spring Ball would help a lot. Yeah, Spring Ball would help a lot for getting out of Dragon's room, but you could do, RBO strats to get out as well. And that's just a reserve tank. It's not even his reserve tank. I thought he saved, so I'm surprised he doesn't reset, but instead he'll demonstrate how you get out of here RBO style.
Gets it.
Yeah.
It does have the X-ray, actually. He could X-ray climb out of Dragon if he doesn't want to get the
yep, that's another way.
Flash suit.
So we have both our Magic Pants runners in the wreck ship, and both our LostVikings are in Lower Norfair right now.
Yeah, we'll see. Both of the Magic Pantsroom runners are going to have to go back down into Varia to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Although I imagine we actually see Rusty go back into Meridian. I wonder what his plan is to do. Excuse me. Where was player 1's Varia?
We saw one Varia.
It was at player 2's Croc.
We got a Croc Varia and a Norfair Reserve.
Yeah, so they're actually both in Norfair.
And Kip executing the spring ball jump out of the screw attack room very successfully, very nicely done. He also has the RBO combination, so a little surprised he didn't do that, but knowing Kip, he probably realizes that, you get the extra 2 door transitions, and it's probably just faster if you could first try the spring ball jump.
I mean, you do have the 2 pause menus, which is, I think, slower, but that's okay. He also picked up Charge Beam. I didn't see where that was.
No, I missed that as well.
I believe... Was that just the Screw Attack item?
No, Screw Attack was an E-Tank. I did see that for sure.
Yeah, not sure where he got that. Hopefully chat can help us out.
Yeah, by the way, shoutouts to Jestro Zooks doing the tracking tonight. Tracking in SM is a little bit easier than, say, like Link to the Past, but then when you add the multi-aspect that we have here, which is 2 different seeds essentially, and you add that we don't get the fanfare to look at the text box for 7 seconds, you only get it for about 1 second. Very difficult to track these, so especially solo. So huge shoutouts to all our trackers, Jestro Zooks. Shoutouts to him for doing it tonight.
Apparently, player 1's Charge Beam was at player 2's Grapple, so Rumble actually getting Varia Charge Beam at Croc, which Mr. Croc
That's pretty
decided
good. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame people for not wanting to do Croc, but you're already there. You know?
Yeah, he set up for it too with the Crystal
Yeah.
Flash, and he just didn't do it.
Yep.
Not sure what happened there, but it's going to cost him, potentially.
Yeah, I feel like LostVikings are in a pretty good position right now because, you know, once Rumble finishes up here, he's just gonna, if he doesn't have Gravity Suit by then, he's got an entire wreck ship that he can do. He can go to Waterway. He's got Grapple Beam now. He could go to the X-Ray, do the X-Ray check. So he's got a lot of things he can check. While Kip maybe goes into Meridia and looks for that Gravity Suit there. Kip, meanwhile, has, you know, other than the Meridia items, will just have the only thing left for him other than that is also Waterway. That'd be the kind of check that I'd like to see Rusty do right now. He's not going to do it, but that's one of those checks where there's a good if there's a good chance your opponent isn't going to do it and you feel like maybe you're disadvantaged, that's a really good place to maybe score an item that maybe your opponent might not get to for a while.
So see if Fox remembers that he still has to check X-Ray. Okay.
Yep, there it is. He's checking it.
Good.
And Rusty heading right back into Meridia as you suggested.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's the play I would do, but
Yeah, the routing for Rusty just feels disconnected with the quick trip through Meridia the first time and then, you know, pivoting to the wreck ship like that.
yeah, I mean, they're taking risks in routing, which they kind of have to do against a strong team like Kip and Rumble. So it makes sense. I just don't agree with how they've been approaching it. I think that they've been, like you said, that their checks have been very disconnected. I think in this situation, if I'm playing into a matchup I'm not comfortable in, I would much rather see them just full commit to like full commit to a Meridia. That's a play that the other team is very unlikely to do. And so that's where you can get an advantage from. If, say, player 2's gravity is somewhere deep in Meridia, that could give you a big advantage. But
also,
obviously, hindsight is 20/20, so it's hard to say.
The other problem here is since Fox has not done Croc yet, not gotten that charge beam, they're both runners are going to be continuing to check ammo because right now Rusty doesn't have enough ammo to be in a go mode. Oh, nice ice beam for Rumble. So now Rumble has more choices. I don't think he's doing Solus Meridia, but he could at this point. He could call that go mode if you want. No, wait. Yeah, he could call it go mode, yeah. If he wants to do RBO strats or X-ray climb out.
If he can get out of Dragon, yeah. I don't know if we mentioned it, but player 2 had their vanilla gravity. It was at the wreck ship gravity suit, I believe. So there's a spazer that we will be less likely to see, or less happy to see, rather. But I do think Rumble probably goes to ship from here. I don't think we're going to see him commit to Meridia.
No, I don't think that it really does. I mean, Solus Meridia is slow. You've got a better option. I would expect to see him to go wreck ship first.
If he's confident in his Suitless Meridia, I wouldn't hate the play because it would also allow him to just skip the top of wreck ship.
Yep.
But I don't know how comfortable Rumble actually is with
I mean, he's
It was.
comfortable. I know he's comfortable enough to just do it if he absolutely had to. Like, I don't see him as a player that would be like, yeah, I will go pick up my gravity suit in uh, backtrack to waterway or even like the sand pits or a shack tool gravity suit. Um, but I also don't see him as a, well, I'm just not going to do ship. But he'll show us in just a second.
Yeah, we will see.
Also
Skipping
important
wells.
to note that the winner is the first team to finish. So the time for the first finishing player doesn't matter at all. It's only the second player. Um,
On that note, Kip is going to be pretty fast this seed.
yeah.
And there isn't a whole lot more he can actually check for Rumble, unless he
No, it
wants to do
really
all of
isn't.
these Meridia checks, which he might do.
I mean, if he is ahead, so he certainly could.
There's no reason not to. As the person ahead,
Yeah.
you just want to catch up to the other player. Your
Yep.
time doesn't matter, as you mentioned. And that
Okay,
is
Rumble
not the
runs
item we're
right
looking
through the
for.
tube. Yeah, he wants no part of Suitless Meridian. I don't blame him. That's
Well,
a hell of a commitment.
we'll see if he goes for like a waterway. And I would assume he goes up from there if he's not just committing to Meridian now. If he's not committing on this item set, I don't think he does until he finds gravity, so he probably goes to ship. But we'll see if he goes for a waterway detour as well. I don't know what your thoughts on that play would be.
Yeah, I think in Rumble's case, I think ship makes more sense.
No, he hasn't actually checked X-ray either.
Yep.
I don't remember what this was, but it wasn't anything good.
I could see the argument for X-ray before or after ship. I mean, if it's if it's the thing, which it's not, then he can just kill Fantoon and leave. If it's not the thing, then you just, it's not that slow a check.
Yeah, there's definitely an argument either way. I would expect him to actually skip waterway, planning on doing it if he didn't find his gravity and ship, which
Yeah.
of course he will. But we'll see.
We got bombs.
Either way, both players on MagicPantsRoom not having their various yet. I imagine they're going to be doing a lot of these slow Meridia checks that
Yeah.
at least Rumble is going to be skipping.
Yeah, Rumble is going to be able to just go straight through Meridian, won't be checking anything.
It is a situation where player 2's movement could make a difference, and as we mentioned, Mr. Fox is a very good vanilla runner. So we'll see if he can catch up, but that does require various suits. Potentially, they could do suitless. We'll see. I'm not sure if either of them are experienced with RBO, but it's definitely not something that's too difficult with these item sets.
It's a decent movement items. I would say in Fox's case, I believe that's 25 supers. Fair warning, everybody, it's really hard to see the numbers on the Discord feed that we get to watch. But at 25 supers, that's not a number I'd want for. I'd want more for both crystal flashing and possibly even killing Ridley with the supers instead of with the beam combination. As Rumble gets a spring ball that could signal to their mind that to LostVikings' mind that he should be in Suitless Meridia, but I mean,
it is possible that he just kills Fantoon and skips the top.
Yeah.
Just probably does a quick right side super check and then bails with this loadout. If that is the case, then it does make this race a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, it
Although
does.
you could argue that the time going all the way up to wreck ship is about the same time as you actually lose from the reduced mobility underwater. I think it's a lot closer than some people would think, depending on your proficiency with Suitless Meridia.
Yeah, of course the problem being that, they don't know that the gravity suit's just sitting there waiting in the wreck ship, so we'll see what Rumble chooses to do. The spring ball, getting out with spring ball and grapple beam is a world of difference than having to either rely on the X-ray. scope or have you do the RBO strats. And then it's just a grapple jump out of Dragon, then a spring ball jump out of the Precious Room. I say just, it's like, it's not, you know, it still takes some skill, but...
So Kip, with his lead, all of his boss is down, and Rumble's still yet to clear Meridia. It's basically just cleaning up the rest of the game. We'll probably see him go to Plasma and Shack Tool.
Yeah, I would expect so as well.
Meanwhile, Rusty, hoping the Varia suit is somewhere here, and unfortunately we know it is not.
Yep. And Rumble gets to do a microwave of Phantoon, which is always fun to see. Phantoon, the hardest of the microwave bosses, just because you still have to use a missile to open Phantoon's eye to begin with. Rumble showing us how it's done though. Yeah, both of the Magic Pants team in Plasma right now.
Yeah, both trying to get out.
Yeah,
I like what Rusty did, just running and using the speed momentum to get high enough.
Oh yeah, I never thought of that. It's basically the same jump as you'll see in Worst Room in the Game, or in Bubble Mountain to get to the Wreck Ship Reserve. Sorry, to the Norfair Reserve. It'd be hard to get to the Wreck Ship Reserve through Bubble Mountain.
That would, I don't know how that one works. Unless you're, playing like Route Rando, maybe.
Yeah. Some weird things going on.
There's a few funny randos that could happen. This is not one of them, though, unfortunately. Multiworld area rando is coming soon, TM. The areas are also shuffled between the two players, so you can just have two of the same area. It's really funny, trust.
That would be an interesting
thing. Like, aha, Bubble Mountain 2.
I'm waiting for a total to combine area rando with cross keys in Link to the Past for an SMZ3 nightmare.
I've seen a lot of the cross keys entrance rando shenanigans. Does play out a little bit differently than stuff like that in Super Metroid, because there's usually one big central area in Link to the Past where that's not really a thing in Super Metroid. That's why people run that, but don't run that door rando in Super Metroid.
Rumble did not do the save scum and stares at that spacer beam, decides he doesn't want it because everybody has plasma.
I assume if he's checking this, then he's definitely going all the way through, so he will get his gravity suit. No surprise there. Kip, meanwhile, visiting our old friend Shack Tool. I believe this is the last major item he has. I don't think there are any.
He has
left
Waterway.
Oh,
just Waterway. Yep.
I mean, do you check it in this scenario for Kip?
Oh yeah.
After Rumble gets gravity, I guess there's no reason not to.
No. Once Rumble gets gravity, you just go finish the game. But
I mean, there's no reason not to.
I mean, he could.
It could be like Space Jump, or
could be Space Jump, could be Wave. Wave is, or Kip's Ice. Both would be nice quality of life items.
Nice. Although his time doesn't really matter. He's just basically just hoping it's Rumble's Wave or Rumble's Space Jump. Although one of those could be this item.
Yeah, we're about to see some various suits. Now, here's an interesting question. Fox is about to get the various suit for Rusty.
And they're actually going to be able to skip the rest of the checks. Although Fox, no, he's going back.
Oh,
he's going down with that Varia suit. He's not even going to check Rock. That is a problem.
That is a problem. My question wasn't even going to be this. It was going to be, do you bail on the grapple beam location?
Which I think you do.
And I agree. But yeah, that means we're still looking for ammo on Rusty's side because he's not going to get that charge beam.
Yeah, so now, like, the actual race here of which player's going to finish second is actually opposite. It's player 2 for LostVikings and player 1 for MagicPantsRoom.
Yeah.
You have to assume, even if Rusty does commit to a lower Norfair suitless, it's going to be a decent amount slower. They still,
for sure.
He has so low supers.
His ammo, that ammo is just, and he can't do charge beam. He doesn't have charge, so he's not gonna. He's not going to have charge to bail him out. Like 20 supers is. I mean, only the top RBO players go with anything less than like 25. With charge, yeah, you know, he's got Ice Wave Plasma, so he could do a 20-shot Ridley fight and still have all his supers left with Crystal Flash at the end.
Apparently, Kip forgot something down here in Norfair because he's got. I don't know if he actually checked Croc. Maybe that's what he.
Oh, you know what? I don't think he did, and I expect a quick turnaround any moment. Well, maybe not. Maybe he's gonna do that. Yeah, you're right. I don't think he did Croc. Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be a quick Croc because he's also got Charge Wave Plasma, so you know, we already saw how quick Croc can go in that situation.
I mean, the more items he can find for Rumble, the better, and he's still got plenty of time to work with.
Yep.
Although Meridia is, especially if you're not really checking any items, Meridia can be over before you know it.
Yeah, I think he'll finish this area before Rumble gets to Dragon, and I don't think you want to be still looking for things at that point. But, you know, this, like I said, this Croc check super quick, you know. Charge Plasma makes quick work of the Croc fight itself. And the first items here, you got speed and high jump to get the second one. Not that you need high jump with speed to get this. Hey, look, it is a space jump, and it is Rumble's space jump. So actually, you're right. That'll help Rumble out a lot for his movement.
That'll help him a little bit.
Yeah.
Mr. Fox
I mean,
actually
it makes
fought
it.
GT. Oh,
Yeah,
because he's looking for ammo, of course.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, in particular, rooms like a Coliseum, you can just space. You know, Rumble can just space jump through if he doesn't get like a full halfie or something. It just, you know, they'll save little bits of time here and there. The other question now is Kip gonna say, well, you know, space jump makes things cozy for you. Am I gonna leave, or he's gonna keep looking for stuff? Where was Rusty's Ice Beam? Is that somewhere in Player 2's Meridia?
I would have to imagine. So, good chance that Rumble doesn't get that. Because I don't think it was at Botwoon. Maybe it was, though.
Yeah, I mean, Botwoon is probably the only thing that Rumble checks at this point, because he is the player that's further behind.
Yeah, no reason to really pick up anything when both players are in go mode for the player behind.
Yep.
Getting the mock ball.
It looked like he hit it and then just slowed down, obviously showing that he didn't hit it.
Yeah, it did look like he got the hard morph to get the mock ball. And then
something happened.
Not sure what happened. It's alright. Might have just been a D-pad issue. It wasn't holding forward anymore, and then...
So I'm going to point out this play from Fox here, going and checking the Firefly item before going to Ridley. I really like that. It's a very quick check. This is you don't normally see this in a non-multi situation, but if you can find anything that's going to help out Rusty, that's a really nice thing to do. Yeah, whereas it's going to be a while otherwise for him to get to the Ridley item and then, you know, make his way back to get that major item over at Fireflies. And Fox now has space jump because Rusty went and did Croc. Unfortunately for them, that's not really what they needed. The wrong player ended up doing the Croc check.
Yeah, unfortunate. I'm not sure if it would have changed the outcome of the race since Rumble has a much shorter area to go through. But definitely doesn't feel good.
No. Rumble. Oh, looks like he was going for that full half. He didn't quite make it, but with space jump, you don't lose too much time.
Yeah, you do need to actually spin jump, though.
Yeah, it would help.
Get the space jump going.
Okay, now let's see if it looks like Kip is gonna go ahead and do waterway. I mean, it's kind of if you go this way, it's kind of on the way. He doesn't have to worry about gate glitch. He's got wave beam.
He'll still get to Turian before Rumble.
I think he is gonna.
It's not a wasted check.
No, not at all. I think you're right. He's still enough ahead that it makes sense for him to do it. Yeah. And we're gonna see a microwave Dragon here.
Like either his ice or Rumble's wave. I'm sure both missing would be nice here.
Yep. It won't be his ice, but it could be Rumble's wave.
True. gets wave mid X-ray. Well,
Oh,
won't matter.
he gets his own space jump. A fun item. At this point, as much as I love space jump, there really isn't any more use for it. He's already done all the rooms where it really would help, but still fun. Still my favorite item.
Where is
I'm happy
Rusty
to get it.
going here?
Waterway. That's what he's got. Without
Oh
berries.
yeah, that's true. He didn't. I thought he was gonna commit to Sula Ellen, but I guess the ammo's just too rough. He doesn't have enough to really comfortably kill
Yeah.
Ridley.
What he could do is, once he's eliminated all the locations on his side, and I do believe this is his last location, he could just go down to LN and just sit there waiting. But,
Yeah,
his ammo still... You know what? The thing is, though, his ammo is just so bad. At this point, I really feel like, we talked about, it had Foxconn and Duncroc. Once he gets the Various Suit, does he leave and not check for Charge Beam? But at this point, Rusty's ammo is so low, he needs that Charge Beam. So I wouldn't be surprised if Fox does continue and get that Charge Beam.
Yeah, most likely. We might be looking at 2 sub hours for Kip and Rumble, by the way. Kip will
Kip
definitely
for sure.
get it. Rumble is
Rumble's gonna be
line.
close.
I think we're actually looking at like a low 101 for Rumble.
Yeah, probably. You figure 6-7 minute Turian. He's got Ice Beam, so.
I guess Kip doesn't have Ice Beam, so it might be closer. Depends
Yeah.
on what Rumble's able to do in Turian. Like if he gets a baby skip and a good stand up, then he might actually get below 101.
I mean, if you know what you're doing with these power bombs, you don't lose that much time to not having ice. And Kip can do a Zeb skip with Speed Booster, so he's not gonna have to worry about that.
Yeah, he does need to do the Zeb skip because his ammo is also a little bit rough. I think that's 40-30 max, but he only has
he's got 16
supers going
supers.
in.
So yeah, the only way you're doing Zeb skip, if you will, is if you want to refill some missiles, and no one wants to do that.
Definitely not the preferred way to go.
36 missiles will take care of MB1, assuming you don't miss any. 6 for the glass, and then 30 for the actual fight. Beyond that, but there'd be quite a bit of refilling that you don't want. You probably only would need to refill once, but no one wants to do that.
Definitely kind of a last resort. He is in the lead though, but not by that much. Rumble has caught up quite a bit from Kip doing these extra checks, which was still correct. Obviously, it's last player finishes for the
and we've had debates in various different formats, various different games, as to a co-op situation where you're just sharing the same seed and sharing information as to whether first to finish or average time is the better. And I have not come up with a definitive answer, and I think it's somewhat game dependent. But for Multiworld, it's really one seed that you're both playing. So really, the finish, in my opinion, should be, both players have finished. Like, to me, that just, there's really no question about that.
I would tend to agree. I think there's a lot of interesting situations that come up because it's last to finish instead of average time.
Mm-hmm.
I think pretty much every seed, one player has been significantly ahead of the other and gets to spend that time just doing anything he can to help the other one speed up their game. So I definitely agree that is the better scenario.
Oh, we got double croc checks over on the Magic Pants side. That's a little unfortunate. Not croc, double Shack Tool. By croc, I mean Shack Tool.
I mean, they're both villainous.
They're both annoying checks. Yeah, Simo in chat saying that MagicPantsRoom going through MagicPantsRoom at the same time. Of course, that was the room before this. I guess that's just Pants Room, but still. Okay, Kip. Oh, you know what? Kip says, screw this. I'm just gonna use ammo, and you know,
I think he may have made a mistake.
Yeah, I
He
don't think
can't
that
do the Zep skip now.
he can. He can do it with spring. He can do the spring ball skip. No, wait, not
Oh, he has
without
no
ice. He
ice.
can't.
Yeah, he actually has to refill now, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, he might have enough. No.
No,
Yeah.
I don't. I don't think this is enough. It isn't. I mean, it's not. He's not going to soft lock like that. If you're thinking about that, like I said, 40 missiles he can refill.
Are you sure it's not enough? I think this
Oh
is
no,
enough.
you're right. It is because he's got 3 supers left. He had 34 regular missiles, so he.
And
With
even
the
if his
Zebs.
supers get blocked, he can go back and refill.
Yep. So he's fine.
He's been playing it safe, not letting any shots get blocked.
I mean, again, he's used to low ice, so he's used to making sure that happens. I would have put him and Rumble neck and neck and try in terms of which one of those two are going to finish first if he'd had to go back and refill.
Yeah. 2 times Rumbleman's tracker tracked creature visited by the team facing
right.
Rumbleman.
Yeah, that's right. Rumble came up with a tracker that we used in League when we were streaming our own races, and it had Shakto and shout outs to Rumble for that too. But it had Shakto and Croc on it.
Yep, our favorite. I guess Shakto's a robot, not really a creature. But... Well, is that true actually? What is a Shakto? Do we know?
I always thought it was a robot, but I could be wrong.
Yeah,
I don't know that there's anything definitive out there for that one. Noticing that Kip's not doing stand-up, I don't think that's his favorite strat anyway, and again, being a little bit ahead still. The amount of time he'd save in stand-up is not going to catch Rumble up, so it's certainly not going to lose them the race. We'll see if Rumble chooses to do stand-up then.
So, the official Super Metroid Player's Guide on Shakto. Knock out the wall with a power bomb and then wait. A strange, burrowing creature by the name of Shakto will tunnel through the rest of the rubble. So, take that how you will, I guess. May have been mistaken on Shakto's identity this whole time.
Alright, Rumble also choosing not to do stand-up. Not as effective without Wave Beam, so... Rusty just farming up, waiting for Fox to eventually get back to the Croc play.
It's kind of a shame. Obviously, both how it plays out and just the fact that I feel like, once again, a lot of these late checks from Fox and Rusty have been kind of all over the place instead of in a...
Their route has just been very, like I said earlier, their route has just been very disjointed. Fox had the opportunity to do the Croc check a long time ago. He's just standing right now. Like, he is the one that... It's in his Croc, right? I guess they were trying to figure out what to do next.
Yeah, it's Fox's Croc. That's I think the only items left, even. Fox may have other ideas. I'm not sure where he's going. Unless he's just beating the game.
I mean, he
does need ammo, actually, for Rusty.
Yeah, Rusty... Yeah, this is not a good situation at all. Rusty can try to do LN, but he can't do it on this ammo.
We're sold Rumble, by the way. I think this is a sub-hour. Although it's close.
It's gonna be really close with the escape. You figure about a minute. A little bit more than a minute for the... Like, maybe, what, a minute 10 maybe for the escape. So he's got a shot at it.
An escape, yeah, I think it is.
I think he's got a shot, real good shot at it.
Just under, but still, it counts.
Oh, for sure.
Unfortunately, Rusty does have everything except for various suits.
Yeah, I don't understand this play. Like, Fox, you're not losing time by having Fox do this. By having Fox go back and do Croc.
Does Fox check Gauntlet?
Maybe not.
I don't think he has, actually.
There, Kip, our first finisher, finishing up with an official race time of 59:04. Uh, Rumble hot on his heels.
Yeah, I don't think Jestro's actually checked Gauntlet. Or Jestro. Shout out to Jestro, tracking. But I don't think Fox has checked Gauntlet.
Yeah, and strangely enough, because we're using the SMZ3 logic, it is possible for suits to be anywhere. There's no restriction to the criteria areas, which is one of the funny things that we found out again last year when we did the 1 week of multi in League.
Yeah, shout outs to the old full rando practice races in Rando League Season 1 where
Oh god, yeah.
I distinctly remember a race where Varia was at Billy Mays.
Oh wow.
And one person checked it. The rest of us did not. You can imagine who
Rumble.
won.
Rumble finishing up with an official race time of 59:54. GG's to LostVikings, Kip, and Rumble, winning this first round in the SGL bracket part of the tournament.
Yeah, so the double sub hour coming in from LostVikings.
Yeah, don't let Rumble's timer fool you. He finished at 59:54. Looks like they were both late on their timers, but fortunately that's not what we go off of.
Hey, Kip stopped his timer when Rumble finished. That was definitely intentional.
I see.
Yeah, they didn't have the best qualifier performance, but Kip and Rumble is showing up, saying they are still the team to beat. We got Kip.
I see a Kip
for an interview
and a Rumble
as well.
Hey.
GG's, boys.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks, GG.
So as you can see, we're still looking for a Varia suit over on, if you've pulled it up, we're still looking for a Varia suit on Magic's pant size. Sadly, Fox has decided to go do Turian, and so I don't know if they just decide not to do Croc or what.
Fox has checked every single item in the game except the 2 Croc items, which have Varia suit for player 1 and Charge Beam for player 1.
Yeah, Croc definitely paid off this time.
It sure did. Like that was a huge difference in this match. I mean, it's hard to say what would have happened otherwise, but yeah, Rumble, you going into and doing those Croc checks, just getting the Varia suit and the Charge Beam for Kip made a huge difference in this seed. Because not only getting the Varia suit, but also you don't have to worry about ammo anymore once you've got that Charge Beam.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, I don't think there was much else I could have checked at that point. I didn't have rec ship access. I didn't really have anything to get to Meridia. I had no movement items, so I was just going to Croc, and that was it.
I mean, yeah, you could have CWJ'd, but I like the Croc play before the CWJ for sure. Especially since you're right there.
Yeah, you don't want to watch me do CWJ for 20 minutes.
Yeah, no one wants to watch anyone have to do that.
I don't want to have to listen to it, if that makes any difference.
Yeah, I mean, you guys came in to this. I watched some of your qual seed. I know there were some mistakes made and deaths happening, and but now really nice performance here. How are you all feeling at this point?
We also realized after the qualifier seed that you can save scum and reset, and the second player keeps their stuff, which makes a big difference.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah, actually, to be kind of serious for a minute, I'm exceptionally happy that the qualifier seed or whatever, the seeding race, I'm very happy that it happened exactly like that, because I think one thing I've been kind of talking with Rumble about is, like, even though we're not going to practice like hardcore every single day, like we want to run some seeds, just because I'm a firm believer that you can't really know about complex situations unless you like go through them, and then kind of look back and then adjust in the future. And I think if the qualifying seed or if the seeding race had been like a more basic seed, it wouldn't have leveled us up nearly as fast. So like we learned a ton from that, and we talked about it, and we went back and kind of reviewed some concepts, not only in terms of the save scumming and all that, but also just kind of our approach to what we're going to try to do. So and part of the thing that I'm happy about too is that means that in the group stage we get to play the #1 seed. So I'm pretty pumped about that.
Yeah, I know you like to play the best Kip, so that worked out
Oh
pretty
yeah.
well for you. It looks like the Magic Pants team has decided to forfeit. Can't say that I blame them. Still looking for that Variosuit, and with Fox sitting in Turian, late in Turian, could be hard to get back
locked
to
in Turian at this point, right?
Yep. I mean, he could reset to whatever his last save is, but who knows how far back that would take him. I don't know if he's listening, but he's in the setup room. And if he wants to join us, Fox is there. I don't know if Rusty can join us as well. I'll let him know to just come on in. They can, talk about their experience and.
Yeah, this scene was actually pretty complicated. Actually, there's a lot of ways this one could have gone haywire. But there are a few things that I think I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. Like it's easier for me to get a feel for our team when I get to watch both of us play at the same time. It's one thing when we're doing it, like when on the call. It's another thing to like go back and watch the video. So I'm looking forward to kind of looking at it and seeing some things. But there were definitely some opportunities that we could have. I made a few calls routing wise that I think potentially maybe there were some better decisions, but ultimately I'm happy with how we played overall with the complex seed. I think I ended up full clearing the entire game.
I think you did. At least in terms of major items.
Did you get Speedway? I didn't know.
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
GG Fox.
GG Fox.
Yeah, and welcome in, Mr. Fox. Yeah, GG to you. Have you found out where that Variosuit is yet? Have you deduced it from our conversations?
Yeah, it kind of hit me. Me and Rusty were going back and forth. He was in Lower Norfair, and he's like, "Oh, I only have 20 supers. I can't even do this if I wanted to."
yeah, the 20 supers. We were worried about. Like, there are definitely situations where going it down and just going without Varia is more than viable. I think more so in a full situation because you're just getting ammo that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were a little concerned about that super amount. I mean, maybe Zenny could do it with 20 supers, but like the rest of us.
No, Croc completely slipped my mind because as I was going to check Croc, Rusty found my Varia. Like the door was open, I was ready to fall through, and I get the Varia suit. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna turn around and hightail it to Lower Norfair, and hopefully something will be there before I go through Croc. So my brain indexed it as, I checked Croc.
Oh no.
So I went through and I did Shack Tool, and then I went and did Waterway. And of course, neither of which had Rusty's Varia. So we're sitting there like, wait, what did we miss? You may have saw me sit there outside of Waterway for a second trying to figure out what happened, right? Because we were pretty much banking on Waterway being his Varia.
That's the worst feeling in the world when you're like, there's only one check left. It has to be here.
Yeah,
it's an E-tank. You're like, oh crap.
I haven't really done that SM, but let me tell you about some Link to the Past.
Fox, I promise you that was not the dumbest thing anyone did in this race. The dumbest thing that anyone did in this race happened after we finished when I tried to find the spoiler log to see where my ice beam was and realized that, oh wait, this is a tournament seed, so I'm not going to get that spoiler log.
Yeah, you guys had ice.
Rusty and myself. You and Rusty had the same seed.
Yes.
So I believe ice was. Shoot, where was ice?
Wait a minute. Who had
Meridia,
my seed?
Rusty did.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna assume because I didn't see you guys pick it up, but I'm gonna assume someone
found
Meridia.
it. I'm trying to remember where it was.
Oh, Simo in chat saying player 2 Sandpits.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I didn't check anything in Meridia. I got Gravity as the last go mode item and just booked it.
Rumble, was there any thought of doing suit list?
Yeah, absolutely. Like honestly, the plan was to do right side super and E-tank and kind of judge from there. And we, it was basically 50-50 at that point because there were 2 checks left in Rick's ship. But there's also Waterway, there's Gauntlet, there's a bunch of places that it could be in Meridia. But we made the call, decided let's just check these last 2 and vanilla Gravity. There we go.
Yeah. Speaking of which, by the way, the fact that suits can be at Gauntlet is like such a mind bend for me. Like
It is for me
it's
too.
one of the
Yeah.
hardest
Yeah,
things to
talk to
adjust to.
Total
I'm
if you
being
want to get
serious.
rid of that.
Yeah.
Hey, you have my vote if if that goes through. Rusty and I both checked Gauntlet after we got done with Wreck Ship, and we had each other's E-tanks at Gauntlet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's just it's an artifact of this right now being linked to the SMZ3, where like a Gauntlet gauntlet suit is not a big deal because there's 316 locations for items in that game. I mean, obviously
Right.
a lot of them still can't be things like gravity, but there's just so
Speaking
many
of
more spots.
SMZ3, Tracy, did you bring up my suits real quick?
I talked about it for a little bit.
So in case it
Oh.
wasn't obvious, I decided for this tournament, every tournament I use a different suit, and this is one I've had for a while. I think I used it one time in like season 2 of the league, but I haven't used it since. It's the exact color scheme, like I think even to the shade, because we took it from the original pictures. It's the exact color scheme of Link's male, like different males in
Oh, I
Link
didn't
to the
even catch
Past.
that.
So it's
Well,
green, blue to red. But the problem is every
You
single
skip Varia.
every single seed, I get gravity first, and I'm like irritated.
I know, it's terrible. Is that why you had the 3 Link pictures? I
Yes.
saw that on your
That
stream
is correct.
beforehand.
That is correct.
Well, I've been trying to get you to try some SMC3. I'm still ready to help you anytime you're ready for it.
Well, you know what, Tracy? Maybe I don't know if this is the right venue for this, but I guess I'll just go ahead and say it. Maniacal contacted me a couple days ago, and apparently there are some rumblings of another mentor tournament, and I have agreed to let him mentor me. And I'm
Oh,
gonna
hell
enter.
yeah.
So-
That's awesome.
So once that happens, then I'll immediately get into the SMZ3. So it's
Awesome.
coming, ladies and gentlemen.
Awesome.
Does Maniacal know what he's getting into?
Yeah, Maniacal.
He's gonna
Maniacal
have a lot of
thinks it's gonna be
practice
like
on
a
his
fun time
hands.
with him telling me what to do. In reality, I'm going to be all super serious and demanding that he make me better way faster. So anyway,
That's pretty cool. All right, so I guess we gotta wait on the 1 versus 16. Don't want to make any assumptions, even though it's certainly going to be a tough climb for the 16 seed. But how do you all feel about moving forward from here?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like we played that rather well. I think it was after Wreck Ship we kind of started to spiral a little bit into a little bit of a tailspin, just because we weren't necessarily sure where the Varias could be. We were kind of tossed around the idea of, do we go check Gauntlet? Do we go check?
Yeah, I'll help you out with that.
Waterway.
LN is it? That's the only place
Yeah.
it can't be.
So I think that's when we started to fall into a little bit of a tailspin. But other than that, I think up until that point, we played the seed rather well. Rusty we found our speeds rather early. I think our routing was pretty good. It's just, forgetting that Croc existed, or even just doing a quick check into Croc's E-tank, I think would have made that seed much more manageable. But
Yeah, for sure.
no, I think we're set up to do rather well. The biggest issue we've run into so far, at least with the practice seeds and stuff, has been full randomizer. So major minor, we tend to play a little bit better, but full rando, we tend to get a little lost in the weeds as far as like what to check and what's logical, what's not.
You're not the only one. Yeah, full rando is a different beast.
But I don't know.
Go ahead, finish off.
I feel pretty good.
Rumble, I'll let you start.
I'm excited. This has been a lot of fun. I haven't done a tournament in a long time, so jumping in with a co-op multi-world is a lot of fun. I'm excited. I think our group is really really interesting group to race against. Like, it's been a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to racing number 1 team. I think that'll be fun.
I feel really good about tonight. I mean, I think there were a few calls on routing that I need to go examine, that I could probably have mathematically maybe made some better decisions. But overall, I'm pretty happy. Execution wise, I actually am like feeling pretty good about how I played the night. I was making a joke earlier today. Rumble and I played one practice seed, and I just happened to have the right equipment to do full halfy when I got there, and then I got it, and I made the point. I was like, man, I never get these in randos. I'll probably won't see another one of these for like a long time, and then I got it tonight too. So
Yeah.
I
Actually,
feel pretty good.
I do have to ask you one thing in terms of routing, or actually routing might not be the right term. What was going on with the Zeb skip? Where did you?
Oh, so I miscounted my ammo, and I told Rumble before I went into G4, I was like, yeah, it doesn't matter if I get speed Zeb skip or not, because I've got enough ammo that I should be able to like kill the Zebs. And then I got down there and was like trying to do the math really fast in my head, and then I miscounted it, and I was like, oh crap, wait, this isn't right. I need to leave and get the speed Zeb skip. And then I realized I already killed one of the Zebs, so I couldn't do that anymore. So
No.
the good news though is I had saved, so if I had screwed up majorly, I still would have just reset.
I mean, you were kind of at a worst case scenario with 40 missiles, since it's 36. Worst case that was having to refill, but nobody wants to do that. So
Right,
you did manage to just I think you had like a missile or two to spare after all was said and done. So
Right, but other than that, I feel pretty good about how I played. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I am not overly experienced with Multiworld, but it is something that I am looking forward to doing. I mean, I made a point to ask Rumble to do it because number one, he's like one of my good friends, from Twitch, and we've never really gotten to do something like this together. But also, it's just it's a lot of fun for me to like use what I already know in a new context. You know what I mean? So like for me, it's been kind of exciting to think about things. So I'm having a good time.
yeah, awesome. All right. Anything else anyone wants to add before we go ahead and close this out?
Nah, Fox, GG, and Rusty, GG to you as well. And thank you, Tracy and Dirt, for the commentary. Huge shout out again to my boy Jestro for doing the tracking. Really appreciate y'all, and look forward to seeing you in the next race.
All right. Yeah, so next race is going to be Tuesday at 7 p.m. We've got Will Cut Grass for Rupees versus Sarah and the Blowfish. That'll be Farfalu and MM2 Nest Cartridge versus Woody and Sarah. And then at 8 a.m. the next morning, we'll find out who everybody's matchups are from this race. Zeb and Nevdi versus Eden and Source will be playing in the early hours in the morning. So we'll have those races, and of course keep an eye out in the schedule for more races to come, because there's plenty still to be scheduled. If you aren't already following these runners, please go ahead and do so. Okay, good. And right now, I would say all of you should head over to Rusty's stream, give him some support as he tries to close this out. Try to do these heated runs. So hopefully you all go over there. And then of course, a big thanks to first of all Durf for joining me at the last second. Really appreciate that. And of course, always our MVPs, our tracker, Jestro Zooks, the true MVP. Tracking is hard. Tracking Multiworld is harder. So big thanks to him. And Derp, you got anything else to end us with?
No, I think we've covered it all, to be honest.
All right. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you on Tuesday evening.